Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 7 of the Rip Drip Pod. Today we have a very, very special guest from Atlanta, Georgia. Some of you guys may know him as T Beug on Instagram. We got Tommy Beuglas today. He is a real estate agent and getting into the sales space. He's doing sales coaching. Any of you guys that need help with high ticket closing, if you're an online closer or if you're just trying to get better at sales, he is absolutely the one to go to. He's also building an online personal brand. He's been doing so for the past year or so, and he's been very, very successful at a young age. So Tommy, thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me, bro. I'm excited to be here. Excited to talk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. We always like to kick off the podcast with an easy question. Really, I want to share with the viewers who you are and what you do. So tell us a little bit about your background, how you first got into entrepreneurship, and tell us about your story and your journey a little bit and what brings you to where you're at today.
I'll be brief. But yeah, I'm from a small town in Georgia. You've been somewhat close to where I grew up, but I was more like another hour outside of the city. So farmlands, I guess you could think of it like that. My parents, every person in my family has been in education. So all my parents, grandparents, everybody has been a teacher. I grew up very structured, W-2s, regular lifestyle, very humble. No one really had creative minds, is what I'm saying. No one was an entrepreneur. No one was in business. No one was in sales. And I think that was kind of a polar opposite to my personality growing up. And then I lived that such a structured life of this, and this. And you do this, you go to college, this is what you get paid, this is what your life looks like. By like 17, I was like, this is not what I want to do. I want to be different. I'm a little more creative. I'm a little more outgoing. Long story short, I was a good athlete growing up. I went to get a full ride to play college football. Went there, had a rough period, just like we all do, from like age 18, 19-ish. Played college football, but was drinking, smoking, doing all these different things, whatever, with the wrong people, been arrested, done a lot of stuff, right? And basically went from, structured lifestyle, doing all the right things. I was a good student, great athlete, full ride. And then I was just like, you know what, bro? I got into wholesaling. So that was what I first made some money doing online. Wholesaling real estate when I was 18, playing college football. I would kind of go to football in the mornings till like 3 p.m. And I would cold call with my boy back here in Atlanta. We would wholesale throughout the night. I think I made a check of like $9,800 in like 22 days when I was like 18 doing both of those. But I was also like drinking and doing all this other stuff all the time. So I was like, bro, I made some money. I don't want to go to school. You know how like everyone today sees like college is a scam and all that stuff? Like I saw that in like 2021. I was like, this is bullshit. So left that, came home. Online business is harder than most people think it is. So the $9,800 was like 1 or 2 times. And then it was like 4 or 5 months of like trenches basically. And then I'm back doing all these things. I'm still young, pretty much had no money because I was blowing all that money. Then I eventually got my life together. Got into basically selling cars. I sold cars, brokered cars, financed cars, did stuff like that for probably a year when I was 19 to 20. Then I met a guy, sold him a TRX, nice truck. And he was like, hey, bro, you talk well for a young person. You're good at sales. You're good at this naturally. If you want to make the most money in sales, you need to get into real estate. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, bro, I mean, you're going to make $200K a year at the best selling these cars, even if they're nice cars, even if they're Ferraris and whatever. He was like, but in real estate, bro, I mean, there's real estate agents who make millions of dollars. And so I didn't think about it. And then I jumped into it. And this is something I tell my students all the time. Jumped into it with $400 in my bank account, no job, had to pay rent, all these things, a lot of pressure, straight trenches again. Did it 8 months. Shit was not easy. Didn't think it was going to be as hard between getting leads, actually closing deals, understanding what the world of real estate actually looks like, both residential, commercial, all of it. There's a lot of rules. There's a lot of legality in it. Basically, same thing. I'm grinding. And then lo and behold, right after I turned 20, so 8 months being into the business, I ran up like 200K in like 6 months. And since then on, it's been full fucking go. That's pretty much led me to where I'm at now. Yeah.
Fantastic, brother. I think one of the most impressive things that I've seen from you is at such a young age, not only have you crushed it in real estate, but you've also built a really good network of people around you.
Yeah.
What would you say? Yeah. Like, what would you say is the biggest thing for you when you're looking to become either like friends with somebody or associated with somebody that you look for in an individual to kind of like attract the right type of crowd?
Like to get connected just in general with people.
Yeah.
I think one thing I do, which the high value guys have always liked me for, and this is different, but I don't ask kiss anybody. Like, you have to earn my respect, whether we're in Miami, like Tommy, bro, I've been in rooms in Miami with everybody, and never once am I going to be the guy that's like all over you for this, all over you for that, because you have clout, because you make $1 million online, whatever. And normally those types of people, it's kind of like a celebrity. If you're like the guy that's like, you see Drake in the airport and you're like, oh my God, let me get a picture with you, bro. He doesn't like that. Versus if you're like, yo, bro, I fuck with your music. Just wanted to say that. He's like, oh, that dude was kind of dope. You know what I mean? That type of thing. I'm never an ass kisser. And I stand on my own opinion. That's a lot of things a lot of people don't do either. Like, you can make more money than me. You can drive a better car than me. You can do all these other things. You can be older. If I don't agree with what you just said, I'm going to stand on my opinion. And again, people tend to respect that. So I think when it comes to getting connected with high value people respect somebody no matter how much money you have, no matter what you drive, no matter how much money you make. If you bring value to the table, if you stand on your own opinions and values, and if you don't ask us and you ask the right questions. A lot of these people that are in high positions hear the same questions every single day. They get the same DMs every single day. Bro, I get them every day from the same people now. And it's like, when you say something different, I use this analogy all the time, like talking to a girl, you swipe up on her story and say something completely out of the blue, you grab their attention and people lean into that. That's just kind of how I've bridged these connections, is treating people like humans, standing on my own opinion and picking their brain in a way that they don't normally hear it.
What'd you say in terms of your sales process overall? Obviously in real estate, it's not a one call close. It's usually a longer process by itself. What's your process there? What are you trying to do? What key things are you looking out for? Like, what would you recommend to somebody that might be just getting started in this space, or maybe has something going, but they want to take it to the next level? From a sales perspective, what would you recommend?
So that's funny. And you're right. Like, real estate isn't a, hey, let's do the deal right now. There's so much other stuff involved. It takes 30 days to close in general. But this is part of like my brand online. Sales is sales, bro. And your approach should be the same. When it comes to me and my business, I am basically super authoritative. I'm the person who does this. This is what the process looks like. This is how it's supposed to go. This is how we're going to do it. If you're not going to do it the way I say to do it, then we're not going to work together. And again, 9 times out of 10, people respect that, because you have to tell them, hey, I know what I'm doing. You don't know what you're doing in this world. You're in my world. This is how it works, and it's proven to work this way. So with my stuff, I basically run them through the whole qualifying process financially, get to the point of what do they want. So what is their most desired outcome? What are their needs? What is their goals? All these sort of things. I'm doing my discovery on this stuff. Then once they tell me that, I go find that for them. And when I find it and provide it for them, there's no pushback. It's like, I qualified you for the money part, so you can afford it. You can't tell me it's not, you can't afford it. You told me you wanted X, Y, and Z in the house. I just found that. So it's not a product or service problem. What else is it? And I've already pushed my authority so much at this point, my opinion weighs more than theirs. So if I'm like, hey, this is what we need to do, then they do it. So that's what goes into my brand too. All these people online say all these sales industries are different and stuff, but it's all the same stuff. You just have to have a sales process that goes through qualification, authority, discovery, not being attached to the deal. Basically, and Hormozy says this all the time, Tommy, like, people always online, the sales guys will be like, oh, objections. Objections really shouldn't come up. You're supposed to handle them in the beginning when it's called obstacles, meaning all these little things that you basically uncover all these obstacles, and whether it's a physical or a mental one. Once you uncover that, before you even ask for the close or go for the close, it should be uncovered, because by then, if they came through every obstacle and they're a fit, then they're a fit. There is no question about closing or not. So that's pretty much how I do in my business, but also how I teach it online. Like, it's the same in every industry, bro.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. It definitely is. It's very similar. I notice a lot of times with younger sales reps, a lot of times they'll be attached to the results, which you touched on a little bit, and they'll be thinking about the close, thinking about the sale, thinking about the objections and the perfect script and the perfect framework, where, as you said, you kind of just have to be genuine. And if you have a resolution or a solution to their pain and you can help them out, you're doing them a disservice by not selling them that product. And the same is true on the other end. Is like, if you don't have a solution for their pain point, you shouldn't be selling them. And I think that's one thing that a lot of closers really don't get right. And I'm curious how you're training some of these younger guys that are getting into sales for the first time. Are you teaching them real estate specifically, or are you just teaching them any sort of sales?
Most people I work with are either agents, and they're definitely not as young as me. Most of the agents are older, obviously.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, bro, I'm not trying to be like egotistical, but there's not a lot of 22, 23-year-olds like
There's
doing
not.
it in real estate. Yeah. They're all like 30, 35. So that's who I've done it with on the real estate side. Them, I have a lot better grasp on, because I know exactly. I mean, at this point in my real estate business, the only point I have to reach is like millions of dollars a year at that point. So I've done the 20K, 30K, 50K, 60K a month. I know what that looks like. which obviously most don't. So I can take them from step one all the way up to that, which is easier. So I teach them just the basics of that stuff when it comes related to real estate. Now, on the other side of guys that are in sales, it's a lot of high ticket guys. So guys that want to get landed on an offer, those guys are a lot more raw and, like you just said, very much attached to the money, which is funny because it's like, bro, you'd have to be on a pretty damn good offer to make like 10, 20, 30K in a month. I don't think you guys understand that. And they don't have as much, and this is what I was going to talk about mostly, they don't have as much human to human connection. So I'm even really trying to branch more into door to door guys, because I think those guys, believe it or not, whatever, they knock 100 million doors a day, they're face to face, and it's the most intimate form of sales that you can get, versus a kid that's kind of, wanting to get into the info world, and he's never had a real job basically, or a real sales gig, and he's over here on Zoom for his first sales gig. Bro, that's not how sales actually is, if we're being honest. That's not how sales works in the real world. That's not how they do it on Wall Street and things like that. So with those guys, there's a lot more teaching involved, and almost a lot more grounding in reality of like, hey, you're gonna have to really learn the basics and really not chase the paycheck like you just said, because at this point you got to develop the skills. Like Tommy, you've probably seen one of my best friends is John Mao, one of the biggest creators on WAP, on everything. He's sales coach. Bro, he had to get in the trenches for like 2 years to be a killer on Zoom like this. That's what a lot of them don't get. So that's kind of the difference between who I coach and what kind of angle I take with them.
Nice. I'm interviewing some of John Mao's guys right now. I hit him up on DMs the other day.
They're probably pretty damn good, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. I think he knows his shit a lot. I want to dive into a little bit. You mentioned how you obviously went through a period earlier on when you were kind of doing the partying, the drinking, not really locked in. Was there a specific moment or a specific point where you're like, fuck, like I need to lock in. I'm taking my life fully seriously now. Was there a point that you reached where you were just like, enough is enough, and you've touched your hand to the stove so many times that you want to make a change?
It's funny you said touch your hands to the stove, because I don't know if you've seen it in myself. I was arrested at one point and like thought that was like rock bottom, but I'm a very addictive personality. I'm either 0 or 100, and like fell right back into it for like 6 months. It was kind of really, it was that period of during real estate when I was making no money in it, but basically grinding my ass off. And then I finally had this one deal. It was my second deal where the commission was like 19,500. So it was like almost a $20,000 check right here in 30 days. And I was 20. And I was like, bro, if I can just lock in right now, put everything else away, do this deal and do the same, structure of this deal 5, 7, 8 times, dude, I'll have 100 G's in my pocket in the next few months. That was kind of what I did. So it wasn't necessarily that a switch flipped. It was like, hey, it felt like it was divine. It was like God was like, hey, I'm going to give you a chance, and you're either going to take it seriously and run with it, or you're just going to keep bullshitting and basically keep pushing your success to the side. And so I basically at that point was like, all right, this is my shot. I need to go for it. And ever since then, I've been pretty disciplined in all areas of my life. And that's how it worked basically for me.
When it comes to the personal brand side of things too, I know you've grown that. You're getting a lot of lead flow there. What's your strategy for that? Even specifically for like content, getting customers coming to you and actually signing up for the mentorship or the coaching. What is your mentality around that, and how do you approach it?
And Tommy understands a lot of this. My best friend's John Mark Stevenson, and I even bought his program years ago. And I love the way he does it, and I do it a similar way. I always have my own little twist. I think when it comes to growing a personal brand, you have to be very authentic to who you are. I think a lot of the guys in the space kind of play off each other's ideas, play off each other's ideology, funnels, shit, even like the concepts. Those notebook concepts that I made that went super viral, Tommy?
Yep.
Like immediately Andreas steals it. Another of Jeremy Miner's guys steals it. Like all these other guys start stealing my basically form of content. And it's like, but theirs never went viral, because you can't recreate the idea and stuff like that. So I guess with me and like John, you have to, and why people buy from, why he's been so successful and why I have in this is they're buying, the way we look at it, they're buying our thought structure. That's why we post stories. That's why we post so many. If I make a reel, there's like an idea behind it, but then I put my own message of like my experience in my life and what I learned in my life lesson and this, that, and the other. That way the viewer's like, okay, that's how he thinks about it. I kind of think like that. I resonate with him. I like that. Let me follow him. Let me reach out to him. Let me ask him a question, things like that. So it's the thought structure, and then being the most raw version of yourself, meaning a lot of the guys online won't show, I'm not going to say names, but they'll only show like the whips and the things like that. And it's like, bro, we're all dudes. You all cry at night sometimes. You're all stressed. You've all had low moments. You all have issues, basically. What they don't understand is the more you actually show that. Now, obviously, like me and him do it a lot more on YouTube because it's long form, it's a lot more intimate. But when you show that, it's even better for you. You don't want to be the online guy that looks like a celebrity that feels like they're so far away from you. You want to be very, very relatable. We are relatable. We're human beings. So it's a mixture of that, basically being raw and authentic, and then being creative with your own thought structure and your own ideas. That's the way I've done it. It took a long time to actually kind of figure it all out, and I'm still figuring it all out by the day because social media, what I've noticed is the fucking algorithm changes like every day now. But I think that's what's going to win definitely this year, is literally being raw. People are tired of the crazy edits. People are tired of the whips. People are tired of only seeing success. People are tired of even just edits in general. You know, like the Tate edits do well because it's Tate. But like when it's like Tommy talking some, you know, like motivational edit, like no one gives a fuck. Like they don't want to see that. They want to see raw, intimate content. So that's what I think was work for me and what will work definitely this year for everybody else.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. We were talking with, honestly, a lot of the other people that we've spoken to so far that are pushing content have a very similar take on it, where it's being authentic, sharing your story. People are tired of the AI slop. They're tired of the super edited everything. They just want to see you. They want to get who you are as well. Do you? I know some people kind of structure their content in a way where, hey, this post is going to be more top of funnel. This post is going to be a bit more middle or bottom. Do you take that approach as well, or are you just kind of like, hey, this is just what comes to mind. I'm going to post it right away?
I think like 70% of the time, what you just said, it's like whatever. I'll have times throughout the day away from my phone. Like normally it's in the shower as soon as I wake up, you know, at 6 a.m. for like that 10-minute shower. That's when your brain has all this creativity of like things you're thinking of. And those are great videos because it's raw and it's very creative. So I put that immediately online. But there is definitely videos where I'm like, hey, I've been talking to this lead in the DM. This video right here is directed straight at him. I don't care how many fucking views it gets. I don't care how many comments it gets. If he sees this shit, it's going to hit him like a stake in the chest. You know what I'm saying? Like it's exactly for him. That is, of course, bottom of funnel. Top of funnel, like I don't personally even believe in that, because top of funnel to me would be like, we're trying to go viral, we're trying to look cool, we're trying to sell the lifestyle. I think that's going to attract the wrong type of buyer anyway, so you don't really care. Yeah, for me it's just more of that creativity side 90 or 70% of the time, and then that 30% of the time bottom of funnel where I don't really care about views and stuff like that. It's directed at a singular person who I've been talking back and forth with, who thinks the video just came across their For You page just like, you know, a chance or one of my random pieces of content, but it's directed at them.
Super dope. I'm curious, now that you're getting into building the personal brand, coaching guys online, and doing real estate, do you think you have one catalyst that you're just going to run with for the future? Or what are some of your future plans and goals in terms of like the real estate versus the online? Or do you think you'll just stick with both?
Yeah, I don't know. And I've been debating this and talking about this. If I go all in on personal brand and online, my only caveat, bro, and you'll understand this when I say this, in my real estate business, I think the online space has lost touch. That, like, this is going to sound crazy, but like $1 million, $2 million, $5 million a year is like a lot of money. Like, I've done deals with real estate guys who showed me 27 million in their bank account. So it's like, dude, there's people walking around America who are really, really, really wealthy. And they're average people, regular people. They're not on Instagram. They don't have a personal brand. They had technically made it in the real world. These guys I work with, these builders, these custom builders, dude, these guys have hundreds of millions of dollars. And yeah, they're older. They've built their business. It didn't happen in a year and a half like it could in info. It took 10, 15 years. But I don't know. My brain's kind of torn on. I more look at it as, hey, let me help people. Let me grow my personal brand because I think that's important. This is something that I wish I had when I was 20, 21, or 19 getting into sales. So let me be of service to people like that. And then let me just take that cash and leverage it more, in my eyes, into a real world business, meaning brick and mortar and things like that. Like, my goal is to be one of those builders essentially in real estate, because I know that's what works. Go look up where the billionaires are made in America, real estate, everything like that. So I'm more of look at it as like, let me be of service. Let me grow my brand. Let me take the somewhat cash that I make from it and put it back into myself. Not necessarily being an agent, but yeah, I need the cash to kind of leverage what I want to do when it comes to becoming a builder, leveraging those loans, and essentially building a massive exitable business. That's the other thing. Info businesses aren't exitable. You are the brand. If if I want to sell my business on info that makes $250,000 a month, but I'm not in it, it won't make any more money. So that in a way is a waste of time in my eyes. Now, if the cash is good and you stack it up right to go and pivot into something else, cool. But if you're like long-term goals, I'm going to grind this shit out for 3 years so I can exit. It's never going to happen. Versus the real world business that I'm talking about, taking the cash and putting it into, could definitely happen. Won't happen in 3 years, but 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, pretty fat exit. And then I'll go sit on the beach next to Tommy in Sarasota or whatever.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, bro. No doubt. Dude, I mean, this has been super dope. I can just tell you're super raw and genuine, which I think really serves you well, both in the online space and just in the real world in general. And I'm curious how, I know you're a man of faith and you post about it semi-often. How has that helped you in business, and how does that tie into your business?
I'll tell you this. I have one mentor. He has an SVJ, but he doesn't have an Instagram. Like he's like 60 years old. Like, he exited his company for 35 million, lives on the lake up here, got a wake boat, got like 3 boats, has SVJ, all these crazy whips. He's rich. And he's given me the best advice ever when it comes to like faith in business. And it's a few things. Number one, never do bad business. Never fuck anybody over. Never do somebody dirty. Never lie. Never cheat. Never steal. All that stuff will come right back to you. Karma is most definitely real. Whether it happens in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, it will come back. Number one. So that just goes in line with, being a servant of God and being a good human being. Number two, never give up. Meaning, if you have complete faith and submission to God as your savior and that you have no power and that he can do everything, then you'll never give up because you know he's going to deliver it eventually. Then you don't have to worry about the results, the this, the that, the timing. Just work. You just go to work and you have faith that he will deliver the result. But even for me, bro, that's a very hard thing to do because you feel like, I can't tell you how many times I've made money, a lot of money in a month, and I'm like, yo, I'm balling right now. But it's not necessarily me. It's like the opportunities that God put in front of me. Because then I've had other months where I didn't do so well, and I'm like, bro, it's not my fault. Like, it's everybody else now. You know what I mean? So it's the not giving up, the never doing people wrong. And essentially, when people say give God the glory all the time, but I think it's even deeper than that. It's that this is literally not your works at all. Everything is literally from him. Every opportunity, every paycheck, every client was put into your life not from your own doing. Even you can say the content you post brought them in. Who put the idea in your head? Who put the wisdom in your head? So that's the main thing it has when it comes to faith and business for me. Those 3 things mainly. And it keeps you humble, obviously.
Fuck yeah. Definitely does, dude. Very, very well said. Eric, do you have any last questions, final thoughts for Mr. Beug here? I know we've got him a little past schedule.
Yeah, no, this was fire. You left us with some sauce here at the end. Very wise words as well. So no, I appreciate you coming on. I guess let people know where they can find you. What's the best way to get in contact if they want to learn from you, if they want to do some real estate deals with you, plug your stuff.
Yeah, bro. On all socials, whatever, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, everything, it's Tbeug, TBEUG, very short username. I answer all my DMs every single day. That's the main place if someone wants to get in touch with me to do business, to ask questions, to learn about the program, whatever it is. I'm very open. I'm very raw, like I just kind of did with you guys. I'll answer anybody. It doesn't matter how old you are, how stupid your question is, whatever. DM me there and I'll get back to you.
Beautiful.
Fuck yeah. Thanks for watching, guys.